to thank Jennifer, Gaspar, Ray, the events manager, and everyone with the Village Well for hosting us tonight. I also want to make sure to give a shout out to, is Mark still here? Mark Lippman. Mark Lippman, the architect of the Culver City Book Festival, the second annual, which was extremely successful, just like this event tonight at the Wende Museum of the Cold War. So props to him. Many, many thanks. So the first poem that I'm going to perform, all right, I guess I have two requests. So I'll perform my requests. It happens every single night. Telemarketing Juliets, calling from their ivy-covered balconies, calling for their star-crossed lovers, calling, hello, is Mr. Romeo in? I'm sorry, Romeo went to go grab a burrito, Mercutio to cruise Whittier Boulevard, and Shakespeare to take some ethnic studies lessons. In other words, fucker, Romeo isn't in. My name is Romero. I'm not Italian. Centuries-old Spanish blood coursing through these veins, so my parents are not from Spain. And despite the Southern Californian accent, loud words like, dude, sweet and sick to tumble gracefully from these lips. I'm not a white guy, I'm a Mexican. My name is Romero. Romero like a brand of tortillas that escaped with Guerrero and Mission from the segregation of the ethnic food section into the main aisles of your local supermarket. My name is Romero. Romero like Archbishop Oscar Romero, zombie filmmaker George A. Romero, actor Cesar Romero. Yes, before Jack Nicholson, before Heath Ledger, a brown man played the Joker. They dressed him up in purple suit, green wig, and white face, though he would not shave. His trademark suave and sexy Latin mustache, no. He was a Romero. I am a Romero. My parents had dark hair and dark eyes. When I was 7, my brother lied, told me that my father was the mailman. How could you be the son of our parents with your blue eyes and white skin? Well, brother, fucker, like Jerry Springer or Maori, the DNA results are in. I am a Romero, and I know what some of you are thinking, that I'm just another white guy trying to prove he's a Latino, or just another Mexican, chest beating his chest, beating whatever reputation he has left in the process, trying to convince you that his family, his country, his nationality are better than you. Well, I know as well as anyone that we are all the children of Africa, roots of no single family tree, but of a flourishing forest that grows collectively towards a magnificent destiny shining, radiating beauty. Just please, close your eyes, and you can see it. But fuck that shit. The name of this poem isn't "We Are the World, We Are the Children." No, the name of this poem is "My Name Is Romero," because if you're not proud of who you are, then what are you going to be proud of? And if you don't know where you come from, how are you supposed to know where you're going? And I know one thing, that the name of my father, and my father's father, and his father's father before him was Romero. Thank you. Hey. All right. So this next poem, another request, and this is actually a poem about my father, and this is a poem about, that was calling out racism. This is about internalized racism. My father worked for Caltrans. He was a blue-collar worker. This poem is called Guerrilla Arms. It was Sunday morning. My father had just gotten off work. Overtime shift, family room, pink box of donuts. My father's blue work shirt that put them on the table. Exhausted but happy, spending time with the family, his arms on the table. Muscular, sweaty, heavy, hairy arms. A bratty, snotty-nosed child, I looked across the table and I told him, "You look like a gorilla." It wasn't just the words, it was the cock of the head, The wrinkling of the nose, the arch of the eyebrow, it wasn't just the words, it was the sneer tucked inside of them. You look like a gorilla. Who was this stranger who lived in my house, spent hours tinkering in the garage or lumbering out in the yard, yelled to rake up the leaves, pick up the dog poop, mow the lawn, left before I went to school, left in the middle of the night, oftentimes returned the same. Always wearing that blue or orange uniform. Always tired on those days. Prone to anger. Big, heavy, work boots, clonking and clomping throughout the house. Sometimes he was covered in dirt, his hair uncombed and wild, work shirt unbuttoned, chest hair out, hairy arms like gorilla sleeves. Who was this stranger? He was my dad, my father. You look like a gorilla. It wasn't just the words, it was the inflection, it was my reflection, it was the teachers, the guest lecturers, the people on television, the parents of my friends. No one had ever told me that I should want to be like my father, blue collar, work with your hands, muscular, sweaty, heavy, hairy arms. You use them to clean ditches, build pipe systems, to cut down trees, to clear fields and embankments every day for us. You look like a gorilla. There was hate there, disgust there, dehumanization, like how creationists can find nothing more filthy than to say that humans are descended from monkeys, chimpanzees. Like how racists call Mexicans cockroaches, cackle when they hear la cucaracha. The Nazis called the Jews rats. Blacks were depicted for decades as more ape than Homo sapien. My brother commented on how they treated him at work. They treat me like their workhorse. A beast of burden. This was his first admission. This was racism. They treated him like a Mexican and he hated it. My father was as stubborn as a bull, as strong as an ox, with muscular, sweaty, heavy, hairy arms, gorilla arms, the arms that built our house, the arms that hugged my mother, that carried me as a child. I looked at those arms that Sunday morning and told him, "You look like a gorilla." Everything stopped. Everyone was shocked. Soon, there was shouting, screaming. I ran crying out of the house and into the backyard. You look like a gorilla. I will regret saying that for the rest of my life.